Hello,
Hi, everybody.
I am Joji and this is my mom, Virginia.
Joji's mom.
And today is Thursday, 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to my friends in the US.
Yes.
And I hope you have a wonderful holiday weekend. And yes, so thank you, Mom, for coming to record the journal today. It's been maybe 2 weeks since I last recorded, so I have to say I don't have a lot to show because I've been working on other parts of my work that aren't knitting.
No, I am not part of your new work.
You are not part of
No,
Joji and Company?
you know, I have nothing to do with it.
No, that's true. Well, we will have to find something for you to do. I've been working a lot on my other company called Joji and Company, and we've been working on new designs and new developments, so that has been keeping me a bit from knitting. But I'm back to knitting now, and I don't have a lot to show, but I have some news. Let's see if we can think that's better. But I brought Mom, and she has a lot of things to show you, so I think it's going to be a good
many
journal.
things, but something.
I think you only brought half of everything that you would like to show us.
No, I have a complete one.
Okay, so first let's show your finished objects.
Yeah,
Okay, what would you like to show us?
the
Stole.
stole.
So this is an unpublished pattern, and I showed you a sneak peek of the sample she made for me to publish. That pattern is called Ashes, and I think it's going to be available in August or late July. But when she made the sample, it was so nice that I told her that I wanted to keep the sample for myself. And she was very sad because she liked it and she wanted to keep it. So
It was a pleasure to knit it, and it is easy,
really easy. So we looked through my stash and found her another set of yarns for her to make a sample for herself. So this is the wrap that she made for herself.
It is not blocked.
It's not blocked. But I think it doesn't need to be blocked. Yours, what do you think? So this is the pattern. I'm still not going to show you the original sample until the pattern is out. But this is Mom's sample. And for this one, we used a locally made mohair from Milana. It's called Mohair Slam, which is this pale blue. It's like pale blue.
Yeah.
Color, and then and then she used one skein of this. Do you have the tag for this one?
¿Cómo?
¿Tenés la etiqueta para este?
Oh, no.
So I think it's Merino silk fingering from the Uncommon Thread in a special color that she dyed. I don't know if it's a regular color of her. It's a very pale gray called Moonlight or Moonglow or something like that. So she used one skein of the Merino silk and 2 balls of
One and a half
balls of the Mohair Slam. For those of you who are watching here in Argentina and know Milana's Mohair Slam, this is a very affordable version of mohair. It's commercially dyed and it's not probably as fancy as the one with silk in it, but I think that the result is really gorgeous. And it's a super budget friendly yarn. Each ball is something like, I think maybe like $3, and you used 1.5 of those. So it creates a really beautiful version. I think that the main difference between very luxurious yarns and more commercially made yarns happens when you knit with it.
I think so.
I think it's the different knitting experience, because if you show it to me like this, I think it's gorgeous. I can't really tell the difference so much.
But when you knit it,
but when you're knitting,
the difference is
you notice
important.
It. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mom, for making my original sample, and now you can keep this one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you for the pattern.
Thank you for making the pattern. What else do you have to show us?
I have to show...
No, your finished object that you are wearing.
Oh, yes. This is... no me acuerdo. Let me think. I can't remember. It is Granito. My second Granito.
Yes. So...
You know, I have a friend called Alzheimer, who is always...
scratching your back.
Yes.
Yes. No, Mom, you don't have that. So this is your...
This is my second Granito.
Second version of Granito.
Yes, because I love it.
The pattern.
Yeah.
It suits you very well. I like the neckline on you.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you use? Do you remember?
Yes, Malabrigo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
do you remember what base? Is finito.
Finito.
It's very soft.
Yeah. But I had a problem because the skeins were very different.
Uh-huh.
And I have to
alternate.
Yeah, 3 balls at a time.
How did you do that?
With passions.
So, Mom was very stressed when making this version of Granito, because this is the project she took with her to knit when she went to the Netherlands to visit my sister, and she was worried that she was not going to have enough yarn for it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really know how many yards the skeins were.
I had seven skeins de 50 gramos.
7 50-gram skeins.
Yeah, and I thought it was not enough. So in the beginning, I thought I was going to use another color to mix.
Uh-huh.
But it was enough.
It was enough,
yeah.
Yes. But you did a modification.
Yeah.
What modification did you make?
I did not make these pockets.
All right. Do you want to stand up? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the original pattern has some pockets here, and you did it. You left it without the pockets.
Without the pockets.
To make sure that you had enough.
You can see that here it is a bit darker because of the darker ball.
But I don't really see...
No, I did a good job with it.
You always do a good job with everything. Yes, it's really great. Do you remember what size you made?
Medium.
Medium, yes.
Medium.
Okay, excellent. That's beautiful. And your first one was made of Malabrigo also.
Yeah, the same yarn.
Yes.
And
sorry, Mom.
Un hermosísimo color.
And a beautiful color, yes. I remember everything that you used. So for Mom's first version, she used Malabrigo Mechita in the color Aniversario.
Yeah.
Which was a special colorway that Malabrigo made for their 10th birthday, I think, several years ago. And when they released this color, it was about the same time that Mom and I visited Malabrigo Mill. And I talked about Malabrigo Mill before. We are in Buenos Aires in Argentina, and Malabrigo is in Montevideo in Uruguay. So it's a different country, but even so it's quite near. So we can cross over to Uruguay. We have to take a ferry, and it's about 3 to 4 hours travel. And we like to go there. I like to go there at least once every year because I have my friend Vero there.
And I like to go with you.
Yes, I have my friend Cecilia. So every time we go, we visit the two most important companies in Uruguay, which are Manos del Uruguay and Malabrigo. And when you visit Malabrigo's factory, you get to you access to buy some yarn that for some reason was classified as seconds.
This was the case.
Yes, sometimes it has to do with the color. They didn't think that the color was good enough to go through the quality check, or sometimes the skeins there's something about them that doesn't really, they are not considered good enough for export. So we access to buy that yarn for a very, very cheap price. I think probably under what the raw yarn costs. So whenever Mom and I visit, we come home with a ton of yarn that has no labels, and so that's why Mom really didn't know whether the skeins had the yardage.
There is no problem. You remember everything.
I remember everything, yes. But most of the times that she or I have worked with yarn from Malabrigo, it comes from the mill in that way. It's a much cheaper version of the yarn, but still it's same quality for me, at least. I don't mind, if there are many knots in a skein, I don't really mind, because I'm going to be weaving ends anyway, so it's just a couple more knots. I don't really mind even if I pay full price for a skein, but if they even give me a discount for that, it's great. So yeah, that's your finished object.
Este ya lo mostraste.
You were wearing that one. Do you want to show that one? Okay. So when she arrived, she was wearing this shawl also. This is an old pattern of mine, probably from 6 years ago or 7. And this pattern is called Imagine When. And my original sample was made in indigo purple, and Mom made this version in gray commercial yarn that we bought here in Buenos Aires, and I think it looks really great with the mustard sweater that she's wearing,
and it's warm.
Mom is very stylish.
Mm-hmm. And yours?
Yes, so this is the featured pattern of today, because hopefully I will release this pattern today at noon, and you will get to see it from the photos that I included at the beginning of this journal, and you get to see it also on Ravelry. This is my hipster cowl that I've been teasing you about for a long time, and I can finally show it to you and share it with you. So this cowl is inspired by my hipster shawl, a pattern that I published last year and that was very popular, which I'm very grateful for. So what I did is I took the main features of that pattern, the Indian cross stitch and this texture band here, in between the two Indian cross stitch bands, and created a cowl basically. So it's knit back and forth. I always use straight needles when I have to create something like this, because it's knitted lengthwise, but you can also use circular needles
if you prefer. I
think we both prefer straight needles when we have to work back and forth.
It is easier.
It is easier, yes. What else? So, I've been wearing this cowl every day. I've even slept with this cowl because it's so very cold over here. I think this is my perfect accessory. It's I don't know, I think it's neutral tone, it's just the perfect size, It goes literally with everything I own. I like the fact that it has these tassels, this fringe on both edges. It just makes me feel warm, first of all, warm, but also a bit more modern. And I like that it doesn't look so polished. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's not so elegant, but it's nice enough. I don't know. I'm really happy with the way this turned out.
Se adapta a cualquier...
It can adapt to any wardrobe, yes.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to make another one of these.
I think I must make another.
You must make one.
Yeah, of course.
You didn't make the shawl, but I think that you would like the cowl because you wear the cowls a lot.
Yeah.
They are easier
I
sometimes.
like to involve myself.
To wrap yourself.
My neck.
Yeah. So what did I use? I used the same yarn that I used for the original pattern, which I can highly recommend. This is a pricey yarn, but it's a really good one if you can afford. This is called mYak, and it's a company that does a great work in Tibet, supporting communities who herd...
Where?
In Tibet.
Okay.
Supporting communities who herd the yak. So they make yak yarn. This is 100% baby yak. What I like about this yarn is that it's not...
It doesn't... soft?
Yeah, it's very soft. It doesn't look luxurious in a way that it's shiny or... It's like understated kind of yarn. You know, it's... For me, it's like a humble, luxurious yarn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's extremely soft, but it's not cashmere soft.
It doesn't look like being soft.
But then when you wear it next to your skin, I mean, I have slept with this and I have sensitive skin.
I think that the color and the aspecto,
the look
doesn't show it like soft.
They don't. It looks like rustic. However, when you put it next to your skin, it's extremely soft. It's hard wearing. It's really hard wearing. You know how sometimes softer yarns can be very fragile and they tend to peel? Well, this thing doesn't peel. It's very hard wearing. It's very light and it's very warm. So I recommend this yarn, and I know it's on the high end of the price range, but if you're thinking whether it's worth the investment, I think it is.
If you think the reason of the price.
Yes, and when you buy this yarn, I'm sorry, I have been given yarn to make this sample, but I'm not involved with yak at all. I just really like when there's a story behind the yarn and there's a good cause behind, behind a company. And also, this is like a worsted weight, and it can literally be made with any worsted weight yarn. So, I don't know, something like a Cascade 220 or... well, it's not exactly cheap, but maybe more affordable. A yarn like Malabrigo worsted can be used, or something from Nick Picks, Wool of the Andes. All of those are more affordable options that also create really beautiful results. If you want to make this with something like Malabrigo worsted, I don't remember what the price on that is, but it's probably under $15 a skein, or $15-ish a skein of 100 grams.
It is not too expensive.
No, it's not one of the most expensive yarns. Then you will need 2.5 skeins of that. I used 5 skeins of yak. Yak comes in 50 gram skeins. So I used 250 grams of my original samples yarn. And I used most of it, and I like it so much. I'm so happy with it. Yes, so please If you are looking for a cowl and this is something that you like, go check out my new pattern on Ravelry. I'm probably going to have this with an introduction with a release discount. And yes, I hope you can enjoy my new pattern, the Hipster Cowl.
Look, you talk about the story behind the cowl, and I was remembering something that I have at home and I use when I go to bed and I want to read or to knit a little more. I have something you made me.
What?
It is a shawl that next time you invite me to record, I'll bring you with me to show.
Okay.
To show.
Okay. Yes. I have made Mom several things.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is very important for me because it was the first one.
Mommy. So I have another finished project to show you. I finished I don't know if I showed this. Oh, I think I showed them actually last journal, but I'm going to show them again because I blocked them. So these are the shorty socks that I have been designing. I told you I'm not going to release for a while because my friend Tracy has released her Georgia socks. But I really like these socks, and actually they are not so similar now that I think about it, but yes. So what happened is that I have been making another sample of this, so I'm going to also show you another work in progress.
May I show the yarn you gave me?
Yes, you can. Do you know what this is, Mom, by the way? This is also Malabrigo. And this is Malabrigo sock in, I think it's called Light of Love, but I'm not sure, that color. So I asked Mom if she would like to test my socks. I'm calling these socklets. And she's going to use that. And I'm also test knitting my socks, my own pattern. And so I'm making this second version in this creamed colored yarn, which I thought was one thing, but I just realized that it's something else. So I thought that this yarn that I'm using was skein shimmer that I had used previously for another design. And today I was looking for some yarn for Mom to test this, and I actually found the skein shimmer, which is this one, and this is the one I'm using. So I realized that this is actually Azula Nebula, and yeah, it's basically also wool and Stellina, but it's a different brand, so I will have to go check what the colorway name is. So I'm making another version of these socklets. For this version, I made a mistake of not following my own pattern, so I did a twisted rib here. The original pattern has a regular rib cuff. Yeah. And I made it shorter because I was at the salon and I didn't know how many rows the original pattern had. But I think it's good. It's a good modification. Also, I was going to make this for a friend, and then I got carried away and I made them my size, which is a US 9 or a 40 European. And I am not really so sad about that because I really like them. So I'm going to keep them for myself. Yes, so I finished the first one and I'm already working on the second one of the second pair.
Which size of needle?
I'm using 225. 225.
This is what I must use.
Yes, you must use 225 and 64 stitches. And I also, Charlie and I have decided we're going to go away on a weekends on a couples trip tomorrow. So I'm going to take some yarn with me to make another version, a third version of this, just because I don't want to think about other new designs. So I'm going to need a third sample. So this that I'm going to use is Koigu. Koigu comes in 50 gram skeins. So I'm interested in checking whether you can actually make a pair of these socklets with just one skein of 50 grams. This is only 175 yards, so that's going to be tight, but maybe I'll have enough. If I don't have enough, then
un poquito más cortitas.
Oh, I can make the toes with a different color also. So that's my work in progress. Do you want to show your work in progress?
Yes, of course. This is my version of Spector.
Spector. It's a spectacular Spector.
Yeah, it is.
So that's awesome. Mom is making Spector. The original pattern is a fade, but she's using 3 colors and doing color blocking. And yes, so you did something really interesting here. I really like it, so I think I'm going to use this for a design sometime. So you changed, she striped this part, but because the bud stitch that we use in Spector actually makes you go down a few rows to pick up stitches from row below, these little buds here
are... hice 3 puntos más.
You did 3 rows below. So the bud stitch is actually covering some of this purple stripe, so it looks like she did some color work when actually what she did is covering the stitches with this bud stitch. So if you look underneath, you have purple yarn. I think that's really cool, and this gives me a really good idea for the shawl project that I'm working on. So I might use this because I think it looks really interesting.
You know, you have a very smart mother.
Yes, you are my muse. And yes, so then she did all the patterning here. She didn't bother to tell me that I'm very smart by designing all of this. But yes, and I think it looks awesome. And then when she came home and showed me, she was transitioning from this color into this one, and she was making stripes, and we didn't think it was looking so great, did we? So what we decided was that it looked better if she just transitioned. She did a clean transition to the last color, and then she made a solid body. So for the top, do you remember what this is? I remember what the other colors are, but
no.
Do you think it's the same brand or a different brand?
No, yo creo que es la misma. Me diste el ovillito chiquito.
Okay, so this is Tosh Merino light in some kind of color. We don't remember. Could be Antler. This I know is Composition Book Gray, Tosh Merino light, and this is Tosh Merino light in Dahlia. All of them from Madeline Tosh. And yes, and then you're going to make the sleeves also in the
same color.
In the same color. Fabulous. Do you remember what size you're making?
Large.
Large. This is awesome, Mom. Mom likes to come and she doesn't tell me what she's working on. So we're like, I don't know, making tea or something, and she's like, I'm going to show you something. And then she pulls out an almost finished sweater. I don't know how you knit so fast. She's also helping me with a secret design that we cannot show. So you're very, very fast. Very fast. I have 2 more works in progress that I can show you. The first one hasn't made a lot of progress. but I'm going to show you in anyway. Okay, so this is the shawl that I am designing, and it had started as a second version of my Julie's wrap, but then I decided that I wanted to do something with color work instead. So I already picked up all the stitches around my original rectangle, but yes, and also I picked my complementary color, which is my main color is by Frida Fuchs, and the complementary color that I picked is Walk Collection Cozy Merino in the salt and pepper. So I was going to do stranded color work. I was going to plan some kind of stranded color work motif, but I think I've been thinking about it, and I decided it wasn't the best idea, because when you wear a shawl, basically you cannot control when the right side and the wrong side of the shawl show. And I was concerned that the floats were going to be too noticeable in the edge of the shawl. So what I decided is I'm going to do, I made these stripes, and now I'm going to make a lace band using the salt and pepper. So I'm ready to start my lace in the complementary color, in the contrasting color. And then I have a lot of this yarn left, so probably I'm going to do like a lace band in the salt and pepper, and then some kind of detailing, and I'm going to finish with my main color. I really like the way these two look together. This is my colorful combination for those of you who laugh about my color choices. So yeah, that's how that's working out. I'm probably going to take this with me on my trip. And also I started a new design.
For my grandson.
Yes. So over the weekend I met up with my knitting friends, and we were talking about the joy of knitting, and I was driving back home and thinking I really want to make something that brings me joy right now, something that makes me feel good about what I'm working. So I decided I was going to knit a sweater for my son, Nano.
For my grandson.
I was going to knit a sweater for your grandson because I love him very much. So this is the beginning of that design. It's going to be a very plain sweater. Nano picked this yarn from my stash. It's a black and gray heathered, sort of like a tweedy looking yarn. This yarn is called Nightsades, and it's by it's American Cormo sheep, and it's by Harrisville Designs. This is the spinnery that makes this yarn. And this is, it's a DK weight, yes. I'm using US 6 4mm needles. I'm going to talk about these needles too. I've used these needles several times. They are by Knit Pro. They are Knit Pro Sings, 16-inch or 40 centimeters long. They are very hard to find, even in the US. I think in the US no one carries them actually. I found mine, not these ones, but the ones that I've been using, I found them in the UK. On, at, or in, we never know the prepositions.
Yeah, I think it is
in
at.
English.
At
the UK.
At
or
you, no, without the.
At UK, no, that
No?
doesn't sound so.
In?
I think in the UK.
In the
UK. And so, but my friend Ale is now selling this here in Argentina. So there's a company that's been importing Knit Pro products, and my friend Ale is retailing them. So I ordered a set in size 4 millimeters and a set in size 3.5. Those are the sizes that I use most commonly.
And the same for me.
Yes, you ordered the same from her. And yes, so it looks rather small. I did a very thorough gauge swatch and it should be fine, but it looks rather small, I have to say. I'm a bit worried. Probably I'm going to block this out, but I hope it blocks out to the gauge that I swatched.
I think it is not, because Mariano is not so...
Yeah, but I'm copying a sweater that he owns, and
you think
it looks
shorter?
Narrower, but I don't know. I made a gauge swatch and probably I blocked my gauge swatch, so it should be okay. But I just hope it doesn't turn out to be too small. Because he's big.
But he is not ancho.
No, I know, but his sweater is big.
And he likes this big
He
sweaters.
likes slouchy sweaters.
You're right.
So my kid is 12. Like most teenagers, he went through his puberty in like record speed. He looks like he's 14, 15. I don't think that he's the only 12-year-old that looks like he's much older than he is. And so I decided that I'm going to design a sweater for him, and I'm going to publish that if it turns out okay. I'm going to publish that as a men's pattern, not a kid's pattern, because he's already wearing men's clothes. So I'm excited about that. I have never designed a men's sweater, men's clothing. So I'm really excited. I asked him if he would model for me, and he was very shy. He was like, oh, I don't know. I don't like that so much, because I think he's very, very, he doesn't like to show off. And sometimes, oh, sorry, I need to go get the door. I'll be back. So, yes, so I think he doesn't like to show off, and he sometimes sees the fact that you have to show yourself out there for a pattern photo as something kind of vain, and he doesn't. Shiny. Yeah, he doesn't want to be vain, but I explained to him that it would be so great because then other people can see how it fits on him, and he would be wearing something that I made for him, and that's important. And then he said, yeah, you're right, I'm going to do it. So now I think he's very excited that I'm designing for him. So that's how it's going. I'm using kind of like a broken rib. It's not exactly a broken rib. Very masculine.
I'm sorry, Jorge, but I must say that I'm not going to help you with it.
Why?
Because of the color. Sorry.
You never help me with black stuff.
I cannot.
So Nano is not, I was saying this yesterday in the forum, Nano is not super masculine in his manners and everything, but he dresses so formal and so serious, right? So he's like, but the sweater needs to be plain. There has to be nothing on the sweater. I said, okay, yeah, it's going to be super plain, super masculine. Yes, so that's my last work in progress. Do you have anything else to show us?
No. What about your bags?
What about my bags? They're doing well, but
you have nothing to show.
No, I don't have anything new to show. We did some prototypes, but I don't have them here with me, so I cannot show them. They went to the workshop already, but we will have new products probably coming towards September, October, and I can't wait to show everyone. But I do have something new to talk about. I don't have any new pottery because I didn't go to the pottery workshop this week. I was a bit tired. But I met a great guy a few weeks ago when we did the Buenos Aires Knit Night. My zipper ate my thread. It's alright, I'll deal with it later. A few weeks back, when we did the Buenos Aires Knit Night, I had a male knitter in my class. His name is Winelby, and he is the founder of Hombres que Tejen, which means men who knit, here in Argentina. And he was really warm and nice, so I followed him ever since I met him, and it's really, really interesting to read everything he writes. He writes in Spanish, and he makes these little short podcasts on Instagram called Winelby and his mini podcasts. And so in one of these mini podcasts, he was talking about how he embroiders. He's really passionate about embroidering, and he talked about going to a class, and he talked about an embroidery book. And so I reached out to him and said that I have been thinking about learning how to embroider for some time, and I wondered whether he could share the information with me regarding what workshop he was attending and whether I could join that class. And he was so kind to offer to teach me the basics himself. So I was thrilled by that because I also wanted to have an opportunity to connect with him more. I'm going to tell you about Winelby more. And he offered to come home and teach me how to embroider. So 2 days ago we spent whole afternoon, and then he stayed for dinner and he stayed after dinner. So we spent many hours together learning about each other, and I also learned a new skill. So first of all, he made this piece for me that he embroidered with his very colorful style. He's a freeform artist. He used ribbons and different kind of materials, plastic, and he used I don't know the names for all of these in English, but he used several different materials, and he gave this to me to hang in my studio with a beautiful message here in the back. He signed everything for me here with a message. So thank you, Winelby. That's very sweet. And he also taught me different stitches that we practice together. This is my practice sample. So we practice different stitches here and curves, and then shapes. And this was supposed to be a star, but it ended looking like a jumping person. And then filling techniques and more filling techniques. So this is my practice sheet, and I really like it. One day I'm going to fill it with other practice stuff, practice material. So yeah, it was great. Winelby comes from Venezuela. You probably follow the news, so you know what's the situation in Venezuela. I'm not going to go into the details of the politics there, but professionals there are not having a really great time. It's very hard to thrive staying there in Venezuela. So in Argentina, we have received many immigrants coming from Venezuela since about 5 years ago, more or less, Mom.
Yeah.
And Winelby came to Argentina 4 years ago. And he has a really interesting history or story to tell. He used to be a politician, teacher also where he lived. He did a lot of charity labor and charity work, and now he's doing the same here. Unfortunately, he cannot practice his profession because he studied for Venezuelan politics, not for Argentine. But it's really interesting to hear his story and how he feels now living here. And Argentina, I'm very proud to say, we're an open country. If you come to Argentina, you can...
I think that when he gets the
citizenship,
yeah, I think he probably could find another job.
As a politician?
Yeah, as a periodista de política.
As a journalist, yeah, maybe. Well, when you come to Argentina, if you express desire to live in our country, then you can, you don't become a citizen, but you get sort of like
permission.
It's our DNI, which is our identity card, so you can vote, you can have a job in a regular, like in a legal stance, and you can stay, you can use our medicine and schools. I believe that makes us a very varied country. In particular, Venezuelan people are very warm. They have a very different accent to us, which I think is very, very cute. And they are very, very hardworking. And so I think that they have enriched our culture. But it's heartbreaking to know the reasons why they have to come, because I don't think they leave their country because they want to. They leave their country because
they are very warm. I remember when I met una chica venezolana.
A Venezuelan girl.
Yeah, in Bélgica, and I la abracé y le besé.
You had her and kissed her.
And she said, a warm and real kiss.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I
miss it, real kisses.
Yes, we give kisses. We give a lot of kisses.
Like this.
Oh, Mom. So, it was a truly, truly wonderful afternoon. I learned a lot from him, not just to embroider. I learned a lot from a lot of things. And yes, I don't think Winelby watches this journal because he's not so great with his English. But if you watch this, thank you for a wonderful, wonderful day. So that's my new skill. I'm planning already my new embroidery pieces, and we'll see if I ever get to do something with this new, with all these new options that I have. Anyway, do you have anything else to share with?
No. Sorry, I have nothing more.
So Charlie and I are going to go on a trip tomorrow, and Mom's going to stay with the boys for a week here, and she's probably going to raid my stash.
We are happy.
Yes.
We are planning what to do.
Yes. So thank you, Mom, for coming and record with me, and thank you everyone for watching us, and hopefully see you when I come back.
Warm kisses.
Warm kisses. Bye.
Bye-bye.